Are you feeling like me, having a bit of stiffness and tension in this part of your body? Today, it's all about upper thoracic mobility, so self-care work. Hey, it's Coach Joe from StayFitAnywhere, where I help you get lean, stay lean, no matter where you're going to exercise. So today, it's all about mobility work. And I don't know if you've been having a little bit more tension lately, or you're just more stressed with home isolation going on, but I feel it. So it's a great month to start off with mobility work. And today, it's all about the upper body. I'm going to show you some exercises and movements using a simple roller. So what's a roller? Basically, it's a cylinder with some material wrapped around it. And I purchased this one probably about 10 years ago, and rollers at that time probably were not as popular. We were doing a lot more myofascial release and a lot of self-care and mobility work back then, but it wasn't the in thing to do as it is now. But it's great that it's caught on because it really does help with movement and to make you move smoother and hopefully with less pain. And let's face it, as we grow older, pains start to creep up, little nagging aches around your joints, different muscles that you probably never felt before. Those things creep up and they're not comfortable. So rollers, you can basically purchase them anywhere in all various sizes and different textures. There's some with nubs on them, which I would probably prefer to get, and I've been meaning to get one more like a rumble roller or a trigger point roller, the ones with little nubs on there, because they dig a little deeper than this. So when you're using a roller, be careful. You don't want to be injuring yourself or inflaming other body parts that are already sensitive, I guess, in a way. So when you're using this, make sure you know what you're doing. And I'll be showing you today a few exercises for upper thoracic. So that's your upper back spine area to relieve any extra tension around your shoulders. See, this one
I like skipping.
sometimes causes me a little stress too. So,
Dad.
I'm gonna cut away and I'll cut back. Easy. Yeah. So if you don't have a roller at home, you can get away with making a peanut or just using a simple tennis ball. And these are pretty easy to find everywhere. So great mobility tools, not a lot of money. This will probably cost you maybe between $20-$30 for the more inexpensive ones, but you might get ones that are a bit more expensive with, like I was mentioning, the nubs and different textures. Those will probably be a bit more expensive. But you can easily make one of these peanuts by having two tennis balls, putting them together, and all you do is duct tape around both of them so they're nice and sturdy now. So it looks like a little peanut. It gives you a simple groove in between. So if you're working around the spine area, because you don't want to be rolling on the spine at all, this gives you a little bit of a cushion, so you're not directly on the spine, but you'll hit the muscles surrounding it. So using this is a simple tool that you can do to start helping release some tension. And if you've been using any other kind of recovery tools, put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you and let me know how it's working out. So let's get going on the thoracic mobility. So one we can test to see if where your mobility is, you can sit, stand, neutral posture, head back, just raise your arms up. And if you feel like that it's going to go only to a certain point, that's your range of motion. I could probably push it just a little bit, but then what starts to happen is I start to bend my elbow as I come up, and that tells me that there's areas probably within my pec minor, my anterior delt, that's pulling forward, probably my upper trap that's not releasing. So a bunch of areas where I know I need to work on, and I think these next mobility exercises I'm going to show you are really going to help. So this exercise is a back extension on a roller. So from here, I'll show you from the side. I want about midway up my back. So make sure you place it in a position that's comfortable for you, so when you overhead and arch and extend, it feels comfortable and it's not going to cause you any discomfort. So for me, just going to put it halfway, a little bit more than halfway at my back. And from here, arms down to my side, I'm going to slowly reach up. And as I bring my shoulders or my arms overhead, I'm going to slowly arch my back and drop my head and lean back and hold. I want to hold this for about 3 to 5 seconds. You can work up to 10 seconds, but just listen to your body. And then come up. I would do this a few times in that position, and then I would adjust the roller, move it slightly up towards my back. Never have it on your neck. So this is going to be closer to my shoulder blades in this position. And I'm going to extend my arms again and reach overhead and drop. Yeah, this feels really good. And then come back. So that's the back extension using a roller. So this is one that I always like doing. I usually like using a chair or a bench or something that's elevated instead of doing it from the ground. So you'll see this mainly called a child pose when you're doing it from the floor. But I'm going to use this bench right here. All we're going to do, knees are hip width apart. Extend your arms out as far as you can as you're reaching. Get up off your heels and arms straight. Try not to bend the elbows and sink right into the stretch and hold. I usually recommend holding stretches for about a minute, because I find when you're holding it less than a minute, you're not actually getting a stretch, you're actually just getting a slight pull, but doesn't actually help benefit in releasing the muscle tension. So use a stretch if you're feeling some stiffness and tension into your shoulder joint and into your back. This next exercise is a Pec Minor Release. It's going to help improve my shoulder mobility and my thoracic mobility. So first thing, use a simple tennis ball. You can get this anywhere, a dollar store. It doesn't have to be a fancy tennis ball, or it could be any type of round object. So you want to find your pec minor. So your pec is down here, your pec minor is slightly up towards the collarbone, not as high. You don't want to really put it on the collarbone, just a little bit below, kind of where your armpit is. So I'm going to bring this tennis ball right on top, and you want to depress that onto the ground. As you're doing this, you want to have your hand about 45 degrees and slightly just rotate down to 90 degrees and bring it back up to 45 degrees. And that's the Pec Minor Release, and hopefully when you do it continuously for a couple of weeks, you'll notice some improvements within your range of motion for your shoulders. So these thoracic mobility exercises I just showed you, they're going to be really beneficial for you. It's going to help you move a lot smoother, and like I mentioned, hopefully have less pain within your joints. No one wants to live with that. You don't want to live with that. I don't want you to live with that. So take care of the body using a simple tool like a roller. That will really help these are fairly inexpensive, like I mentioned. You can make your own little peanuts, or you can just use a simple tennis ball. It's more acute and to pinpoint areas, so it just depends on kind of where your I guess pain threshold is. And I'm looking at getting one of those percussion massage guns. So once I get one in, I'll do a review on it and let you know how it feels. But for now, make sure you take care of your own body. And as you're doing mobility work, don't forget to strengthen. Here's a whole round of resistance band exercises you can do.